Welcome to Smart Architect. So in today's video we are going to talk about how to use AutoCAD to do some isometric drawing, right? So we are going to use the AutoCAD to do one isometric drawing in this video. In our subsequent videos we're going to draw some other drawings or objects that will help us to build our skills in using the AutoCAD, right? So I am using AutoCAD Plans 3D 2024. We have various versions for the AutoCAD. That we have the ordinary one that we use to do mechanical drawings and all that. So we are going to do an isometric drawing, and in view of that we are going to change the whole feature in the AutoCAD into an isometric view, right? So at the view section here, at the view sections, we have, you can see unsaved view here. So I'm going to click on the arrow beside it and choose SE isometric. So this will get me to the view of an isometric to prepare us to do our drawing, right? And on top of that feature here, you can also see a 2D wireframe. I'm going to click on the arrow beside it and I'll choose shaded, right? So this is going to shade our objects that we are going to draw, so that you will not be seeing only lines in our objects, but actually we see an object in the 3D view, right? So I'll choose shaded. Yeah. So I think we are good to start with our drawing for today. So we have various features in the AutoCAD that will help us to do our isometric objects today. So we have the modeling section here, which has some box. We have extrude here, and we have, when you come to the draw section too, we have lines, we have circles, we have polygons, and we have rectangles, right? We come to the modify section too, we can get features for erasing, we can get features for moving, features for trimming, and all that, right? So we are going to do an isometric object. So with this, I am going to choose the box feature here. So you can see an arrow below it. I'll click on the arrow, and we have various shapes that we can use to draw. We have box, we have cylinder, we have cone, we have sphere, pyramids, and all that. So I'm going to choose box. So when I choose the box, I'm going to click and move. But before that, when you come to start your drawing, you can specify the units that you want. You can specify in millimeters, you can specify in inches, feet, and all that. So for you to specify, you can just type on your keyboard unit. So you can see that AutoCAD itself will generate that feature unit for you. So you click on the first one, then you can see that there will be a box that will open. Then here we can choose the units that you want, right? So this is in inches. I'll click OK. So I'll still choose my box so that we can start. So I click and I move, right? So we have the length and the breadth. So I'm going to specify my length. So with the length, I'm going to use 15. So I type 15. And for me to be able to specify the breadth, I'm not going to press enter, but I'll press the tab key. So I'll press the tab key. That will help me to specify the distance for the breadth also, right? So I'll type 10, and now I can press my enter, right? So you specify the length, we specify our breadth. So you're left with our height, and with the height I'm going to use 5. I click 5, I press 5, I click, I also press enter, sorry. Okay, so with this a rectangular box that we have, I'm going to use various features in the AutoCAD to modify this object to get the one object that we want, right? So I'm going to use the line feature, the draw section. I click on the line here, And now I stand at this point, then I move, right? I click and I move. So the entire length for the box was 10 inches. Okay, sorry, it was 15 inches. So I am going to use a distance of 4 for this. So I press 4, also press enter, right? Now move up, and you could see that we specified 5 inches for our height, and with this one I want to use 2, right? So I press 2, press enter. What I'm going to do is to create a hole, right? A hole below our box, right? So I'm going to specify 7 for this length. So I press 7, press enter. Now come down and click on my length, right? Yeah. So I will view for us to see it clearer. So for us to create that some hole below our box, I'm going to use the tool at the modeling section here. So I'm going to use this small tool here called the press pull. I'll click on it and I will specify the section I want to create the hole, right? So with this one, I think it's now giving me the section I want. So I need to specify my length or check my lengths again, right? So let me check it again. Let me extend these lines and see. So let me still check in to see how it will be. Okay, so I think this line wasn't on my length. Let me draw it again to get it on my length. Okay, so I'll click on this side, specify my 4, press enter. I move up, I press 2, and I specify 7 for this side, press enter, and I click at this side. Okay, so let me now choose my 2 here, and now I can specify the section I want, right? So I want to create a hole at this section. I click on it and I move. What I want is that I want the hole to cut across all the length or the breadth of the box. So I'm going to click at this side. Yeah, and now you can see that there is a hole created below our rectangular box. So if you want to view it more clearer, we can hold down the shift key and press down the scroll wheel button to move our object so that we can see what has been created below, right? So I'm going to press down the shift and also hold down the scroll wheel button, right? So this is it. So you can see that there is a hole created below our rectangular box, right? Okay, so let me get it back to our isometric view. Yeah, so right now I want to create a cylinder on top of our rectangular box. I'll still come to the modeling section and I will choose a cylinder here, right? Okay, but before I choose this cylinder, I'm going to actually create the cylinder from a circle, right? So I'll come to the draw section here and I'll click on the arrow beside the circle. So here we have various ways to specify our circle that you want to draw depending on the parameters that you have. So maybe if you have the center and the radius, you choose the first. If you have the center and the diameter, you can choose the second. If you have 2 points that you want to generate a circle from, you choose a third, and all that. So I'll choose the second one, that's the center and the diameter, and I will choose the circle here, and I'll click in the middle of the rectangular box here, and I'll specify. So I'll specify my center, and now I'm going to specify my diameter. So with the diameter, the breadth for our box was 10, and I'm going to use 6 for the diameter of the circle. So in order to create the cylinder from the circle here, I'm going to use the extrude button here at the modeling section. So this is the extrude feature, right? I click on it, I will specify what I want to extrude in the circle here. I press enter, right? It will help me to extrude up or down, right? So I want to extrude up with the same distance of 6. I press 6, I press enter. So I'll get my cylinder on top of the rectangular box here. What I want to do right now is to create a hole within the cylinder, right? So with the same idea, I'll choose my circle, choose center and diameter. I'll come here, specify my center, specify my diameter, right? I want the diameter for this inner circle to be smaller, a little bit smaller than the whole cylinder. So I will use 3 for this, press enter, and to create the hole below it, I'll use this small button here, that's the press pull. I click on it, I specify the section, so I choose the section, and I come down here in order to create the hole in the cylinder, right? So for us to view it, you want to press down the shift and the screw wheel button for us to view the hole that has been created, right? So this is the hole that has been created within our cylinder, right? So we still want to make use of the features in Autocad by creating some curves and all that within this object. So I'll still choose my line here. I will stand here and specify a distance. So the breadth was 10 inches, so I'll specify a distance of let's say 3. I press enter, and I'll move here. I'll specify, let's say, another 3. Then I'll move this side. I specify 4 here, press enter, and I'll come here and I'll click at this side also. Yes. So I still want to create I want to create a section here. So I'll choose the press pull button again. I'll choose this section. I move down. You see that you get a section created at this side, right? So let's view it more for us to see. So we create this one here also. Let me check if I can get it way down. So I'll choose it again. I'll choose this section and I'll click at this side. So I've gotten the whole section off, right? Getting the whole section off. So you can view it more clear, right? So in order to get rid of all these lines in our object, I'm going to use the move button here at the modify section. So I click on the move. I specify what I want to move. The object I want to move. So before that, let me select the object I want to move. So I select the whole object here by clicking and moving, and I'll select my move button, and I'll specify the base point where I want to move to. So I click here and I move here, right? Okay. So you can select all these lines and delete them off our objects. You can take off all these lines from our objects. Alright. You can delete them off our objects. Yeah. So at this point, we've learned how to create a box, and with that box we were able to create some holes and get rid of some sections off in order to create the object of our desire, right? We have a cylinder on top of the box, so we can also color this object that we've gotten. And in today's video, we are going to end here with this object, and in our subsequent videos we are going to talk more about drawing isometric objects. So we're going to take other objects and work on them. So I'm going to color this object by double clicking on it. So I double click on it, but before that, let me join the cylinder and the box as one object so that I'll be able to color the whole object. So I select all, I come to the solid editing section here. So I'm going to choose the feature called union. So I click on it, and I'll choose the object I want to merge together, and I press enter. So you can see that right now I can select the whole cylinder and the rectangular box as one object, not two separate objects, right? So I'll double click on it, I'll choose the color I want to give to my object. So I'll choose a color here, I'll click on OK, and we specify a color for our object, right? So we can click on all these lines and get them off our object, right? So you can get all these lines off our object, right? So this is where we will end with today's video. So we were talking about drawing isometric objects, and first drew a box, rectangular box. We had a cylinder on top of it, and we designed it to the objects we want, right? So join us in our subsequent videos to talk more about isometric objects and how to use more features in AutoCAD to modify objects that we want, right? So thank you for joining us in today's video, and please subscribe to our channel so that we can get more videos and more tutorials for you. Thank you very much in this video.